All right, MMA Maniacs, it's time once again for your weekly MMA podcast called Split Decision, brought to you from the Ruloff Family Inc. studios. Bueller and Dodge the mics. We got a special guest in here by the name of Gene. He's coming at you from Team Voodoo, of course. And the Ruloff brothers in here, too, the team up to bring you all the MMA news and break down the MMA fight cards that are coming your way and lots of other really cool stuff. We're sponsored by StrongboardBalance.com. Change the way you work out. Get on board, StrongboardBalance.com. Check out their Instagram and possibly try to win one. Again, StrongboardBalance.com.
Yeah, Gene would like to use that
for actual athletes, Joey.
I have it today, and I was late.
For actual athletes.
Hey, today was the day I was supposed to bring it, so don't act like I'm hella fucking late. I'm a day late.
How much shit did I get for not bringing it for a day? It's like 3 episodes worth of shit, even though you already had it.
It was like a week.
It was a week late.
A week late is 1 episode.
All right. Also, mymmanews.com. Check them out for all the late-breaking news. It's our second home. Of course, we give you the news once a week, but they're on top of it 7 days a week. Well, we are kind of too on our Twitter and stuff, but whatever. Find us on Instagram at SD_MMA, as well as Twitter, SD_MMA. Facebook is Split Decision MMA Podcast, and also, of course, download us at Spreaker, Stitcher, SoundCloud, iTunes, where you can subscribe, iHeartRadio, and our website, splitdecisionmma.com. Blogspot.
MMApodcast.com picked us up. We're on there now.
Oh, that's right. MMApodcast.com picked us up. That's
which has an app.
Yeah.
Really?
And where do they need to go to vote? This is the last weekend to vote.
FightBookMMA.com to vote. We are currently in first place. We need your help to stay alive.
Go to our website. There's a link.
Vote.
FightBookMMA.com for fan favorite podcast of the year. It's awesome. Big thanks for the nomination. Hopefully we can walk away with a win.
Vote.
And we'll go ahead and jump into some news here. Well, first, wait, before we jump into the news here, I got to ask, because nobody briefed me. Gene, are you here to promote a fight?
No.
Nope.
Okay.
He's just hanging out.
I just wanted to make sure. If we had to.
Do you see anything on the whiteboard?
I do not. Wait.
No.
Oh, where's the whiteboard? Didn't we give you a whiteboard?
Soon,
We're
though,
in
but
another
not
room
right
now, and we still don't have a whiteboard.
We got a bigger TV.
Did we trade the whiteboard for a TV?
I wish we could have.
The problem is the only place for the whiteboard to go is in back of us.
If I would have known that, I would have kept the whiteboard.
You can take it with
High
you.
tech, though. This is
Hey, if you can trade a whiteboard for a bigger TV, more power to you.
Yeah.
okay.
All right, so Rousey unlikely to return for UFC 200.
Yep.
I don't know. I've been saying for a while now that she's not going to come back to the UFC at all.
She's coming back.
She's going to make movies. She's going to make more money making
She won't come
movies
back.
than she will
She's
in
coming
UFC.
back.
I don't know, man. I'll make a bet with you right now.
Okay. What are we betting?
Let's bet
A whiteboard.
$10.
Oh, whiteboard.
Whiteboard.
That's tradable for a TV.
I'll bet $10 that Ronda Rousey never comes back, and I'll bet $10 that CM Punk never fights.
I'll take both those bets.
Yeah, because we already know he is going to fight.
No, he's only going to fight, and we'll get to that. He's only going to fight if that other guy wins. If that other guy loses, he still doesn't have a fight.
He might fight in the video game, right? Because I think
That doesn't count, goddammit. It's gotta be
$10.
a real life fight. Not fighting in a fucking movie, not fighting in the WWE ring, not in the video game, a real life UFC fight.
I was gonna say I already seen him fight Chuck Norris, but,
Right?
Yeah.
No. Real life UFC fight,
So
professional.
angry.
$10. Both of them.
No.
Shake them.
Oh, I'll shake on it. I'm not paying you now.
There's actual physical contact. I can verify that.
He's just gonna walk in there and then tap out on the mat and walk out so Dodge can win his $10. It's gonna be a huge conspiracy just for that reason.
For $10.
$10.
Whatever it takes.
So basically, her movies got pushed back in filming, so that's why she's saying she's not going to have time to do both the movies and training for this fight.
One of them got pushed to video on demand.
I didn't even know what movie that was, though.
It doesn't matter. I guarantee you they weren't paying Ronda Rousey a lot of money to do a straight to DVD video.
Like I said, unless I see proof of that, I don't know if that's true.
I'm gonna go with it being true.
I don't know. Some of the Netflix contracts are pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Maybe now that she lost, maybe she'll actually do her own porn instead of having the actor. You know?
Maybe that's the one that
Sir,
went
if you're
video
going
on
to
demand.
talk, you should put a microphone in your face.
That's the one that doesn't get the theater release anymore. Damn it.
Stephen Hirsch is already on the phone with his $1 million offer.
CM Punk actually might have an opponent.
Nope.
We talked about this. This was on Dana White's new show called Looking for a Fight. Mickey Gall called him out while on that show. He's now going to fight a guy named Michael Jackson, which this just sounds weird. He's fighting a guy named Michael Jackson, which is going to be on the prelims February 6th on
Easy
Fight
to
Pass.
fight a
If
big guy.
Mickey Gall wins that fight, he will fight CM Punk.
But if Michael Jackson wins that fight, he does not fight CM Punk.
He didn't call him out.
Because CM Punk is not old enough to
Maybe
fight Michael
he-
Jackson.
Maybe he will.
Or should say young enough.
Yeah.
There you go. Young and
Get it in there. Get it in there right.
No, that's what he said.
What time are they supposed to fight? When the big hand's on the little hand?
the big hand somewhere, right?
That's where the Jesus juice makes a comeback, buddy.
Dana White has said that Ryan Bader will get the next title shot if he wins his fight.
It's a good shot for Bader, man, really. But he has to get past Anthony Johnson, right?
Yes.
So that's kind of
That
a
ain't
big
gonna
deal.
be easy.
That is not an easy fight at all.
No.
But I agree, he definitely deserves a title shot if he gets past Anthony Johnson.
Yeah.
And it has the potential to be a really fun fight too, if Johnson doesn't knock out Bader immediately.
Yeah, those
True.
two could have a real nice slugfest as opposed to
They
hanging
could,
around.
or Bader could just every once in a while somebody gets through on him.
Bader's got
Yeah.
decent ground game, though.
He does. He's a wrestler.
He's a great
Yeah.
wrestler. He's a
Can
fantastic
be.
wrestler.
I mean, and he.
He's got that
Rumble's
big
always had
overhand
decent
right.
wrestling, too.
Yeah, he's got that big overhand right, but he also has a
I
questionable.
don't think he has. Anthony Johnson has the credentials as Bader, but he's had decent wrestling in the past.
You know, now I'm really curious on, not to change the subject too much, but you know you're going to get, they're getting into the hydration factor.
Using
You've heard
IVs.
about
Yeah.
the
No.
yeah, the testing. So if they're not ready at fight time, they're not hydrated, they're not going to let them fight. Plus the weight discrepancy, where you've got
Yep.
the guys at 175 fighting at 145 and such, but they're walking. There's going to be like between 5 and 6 pounds.
One FC already said they put a kibosh to all that stuff where they're having all these restrictions. They're trying to see if the other athletic commissions are going to be able to accept that.
One
honestly
FC's
believe it's so
restrictions
much
are crazy.
more fair for the guy who actually fights at the weight
At the
that
walking
he
weight,
walks
yeah.
at, because hey,
Unlike Anthony Johnson, who's a 205-pound man cutting down to 170.
yeah,
Well, Conor McGregor's 173 pounds and fights at 145.
Yep.
I mean, it's
A lot of things are going to change.
We talk about it all the time on the show, and I've always stood by same day weigh-ins would be a game changer. Obviously, people can still do their thing on same day weigh-ins, which we talked about last week. But I think it would have a bigger impact if that happened. But time will tell on
same
it.
day weigh-ins without that though could be really, that could be dangerous.
Well, then you
Without
get
the rehydration.
It's only going to
Yeah.
be dangerous for like 6 months, and then you get rid of all them.
Just like if you get all the kids with peanut allergies, peanuts, you get
exactly.
rid of them.
You
We
give
get rid of the
everybody
allergies.
a
Exactly.
chance, right? Why
Of
should they have the
course,
same
of
chance?
course, peanut allergies are terrible. Maybe.
That's just an interesting fact of the way how the sport is,
Yeah, totally.
on.
I just found out my kid has a peanut allergy. You assholes.
Does your kid really have a peanut
A
allergy?
mild, yeah.
Uh-oh.
He got some hives.
Just keep rubbing some peanut
I
butter.
know,
in there.
I
Eventually
know,
he's going to build a
I know.
community.
Up on his gums.
Yep. Be good. Chris Weidman wants his immediate rematch. Says he wants to come back and fight.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, be ready.
Luke Rockhold said he's ready. He still wants his rematch with Vitor Belfort, of course, but he is down to give Chris Weidman his rematch. Has no problem with that and says he will definitely.
I wonder where Jacare fit. Has Jacare said anything about this? Any of this stuff with Yoel Romero?
I haven't
positive?
seen anything yet.
I got a call from somebody who wanted to do an interview with my old guy, Anthony Rubicaba, who was the first one to beat Rockhold on that show up in, I forget where it was. Anyways, and it was interesting because they said, oh, maybe it would be interesting to have another fight, to equal it up. I said, nah. He said he's satisfied with the win. He just wants to keep it that way. Anyways,
That's what I do.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, he is.
You see that guy?
I kicked your ass.
See that guy with the belt? I beat him. Oh,
Yeah, and he can say that. He can actually say that because it was his second fight, and lost legit. And it's just he's not interested in getting back out there.
I would definitely. That's like me being 1-0 in boxing. I'm never going to fight again. I retired immediately. I'm undefeated. I don't have to go back to doing that at all. Speaking of Yoel Romero, which I just brought up, he popped positive, and now
Yeah.
Twitter went afire. It was awesome, especially Tim Kennedy. Tim Kennedy was the greatest. Hey, buddy, did Jesus tell you to use steroids? FYI, gay Jesus isn't okay with PEDs. Bummer you weren't tested for our fight. Is that why you needed the stool? Grabbing the cage, kicking you to the groin, long breaks between rounds. PEDs, not sure if there's any ways left for you to cheat. I'm in the market for some anabolic steroids. You got any?
Oh man,
Michael
Just
Bisping
tearing
says
apart.
the old test was positive, not surprised. At the Reuter of God is cheating scumbag.
Jeez.
Tim Kennedy, I feel your pain. Haven't been there before. Looks like I'm one of the only clean athletes in the 185. When I beat Anderson, Viagra Silva, I want my title shot.
Bisping, man.
It's weird to me,
Wow.
just being like us, just being casual fight fans, and how the Twitter universe works. Because every once in a while, you have the connection to these athletes and celebrities and things of that nature. And every once in a while, it bleeds over.
Yeah.
And we see that every once in a while when they interact with fans. But then when they're just interacting with each other,
Yeah.
like this, it's just so weird because they still bicker like little kids.
Yeah, Chris Camosi says, just heard USADA has another potential failed test for PEDs. I said when the testing started, a lot more guys are going to start looking like me. Chris Wade says that, if you caught juicing once, it should be a lifetime ban. This isn't baseball. You're trying to hurt people. He gorilla smashed Jacare.
No, I believe first time.
Luke Rockhold, sick of the cheaters. It's pathetic. Man up or get the fuck out.
No, 1 year. 1 year.
Here's fine. I'm waiting for Jacare to say something.
And that doesn't teach you a lesson. I mean, you're stupid.
Yeah.
A year without income or anything,
But weed, 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of that,
18 minutes.
Nick Diaz actually did meet with the Nevada State Athletic Commission. They've come to an agreement, reduced suspension and reduced fine. He's now only suspended 18 months retroactive, which means he can begin to fight August 1st.
Robbie Lawler.
50
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Robbie Lawler. Make it happen.
Good.
Don't care if
Good.
Nick is 2-3 in his last.
Doesn't matter. Hey, if they're gonna,
Robbie Lawler.
We talked about it last week. If they're going to make the fight between Dos Anjos and Conor McGregor, then screw it. All bets are off. Diaz versus Lawler. Just show him getting knocked out over and over and over in every promo. Hype it up, and then have the fight.
Yeah. So we will we'll see what ends up happening there. Then we got more on the Reebok apparel policy violations. We have the 3 athletes that are now being named. Nate Diaz was one of those.
I don't give a shit. I don't need your kid money.
My favorite
I don't give a
is
shit.
My
he
middle name,
immediately
fuck
tweeted,
you.
"Those were Reebok jeans. Should have kept the whole check. I don't need that baby ass shit anyway."
That's right. It's only money. I don't care.
Also, he's in violation for wearing his represent line at various points during fight week, as well as a represent water bottle. Rafael Dos Anjos was busted for wearing an Evolve MMA T-shirt prior to weigh-ins, which is an organization he helped staff and create.
So is that all times or what?
During fight week, they're not allowed to wear anything but
else
Reebok.
Not even
Reebok.
if it's for your grandma.
Yeah, and Cowboy Cerrone was busted for, which he recently
A grandma
came out and said.
patch.
He says, "I was fined for wearing a flag." He says, patriotically, that is not very cool, is it? Especially when they make a pair of green shorts for Conor McGregor, and I get fined for putting a small piece of an American flag on my short that represents my grandma. That's all besides the point. Just in fact that it was an American flag, that's how I look at it. That alone, whether it's superstitious or a gift for my grandma, it's because I love the United States, doesn't matter. I understand the fine. I'll take the fine. But what they did to me was a lot more than a fine. I'm not going to tell you the amount because I don't think it's right. Let's just say it was a lot. Think of whatever number you can and double it.
$10 million.
He said, however, let's. I want to talk to Reebok and say they can have the money. I'm okay with that, but let's make the money to a charity at the discretion. Let's make it to Wounded Warriors or any military charity.
Sad.
And I'll match it.
Since it was a flag and I feel patriotic, let's give it back to the people and I will match it. He says, yeah, he will double it.
Now I'm curious if all the fines are equal amount.
He says he plans to wear
it can
it
only
again.
be a fine, a reduction of what they were going to make from Reebok anyway.
Yeah, so it's going to be a percentage base for sure.
And he said his manager was told that if he has another violation, it could mean he is no longer allowed to fight for the UFC.
Wow.
Here's what.
Who cares? You know how much money Viacom's got?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Here's what I understand in the NFL, for example. Those guys have been busted for not wearing shoes that they're allowed to wear. And the same as in like basketball.
In baseball, you had what's his name got busted wearing the all orange cleats. Remember back in the day?
Yeah. And then there's the basketball suit rule and all that stuff. I understand, and Dana White was pushing for this Reebok deal to make it kind of like the same uniform deals that those sports have. This isn't like those sports, like we've been saying forever.
Exactly.
And to do stuff like this, all it does is hurt the fighters, piss them off. You're taking money out of their pockets, even more money out of their pockets now. And there's already people calling online for a Reebok boycott.
And plus, I don't think it extends to outside the football games, right?
Right.
I mean, it's only during the game.
The basketball suit rule is outside the game.
It's during the game or any type of public appearance.
Press
type
thing.
too. Yeah, that's within
Press
the
too.
contract.
Yeah.
But also look at the money that those guys are making, and you're nailing these guys who aren't making anywhere near that.
Right.
Where the promoters are just sucking them dry.
Right.
I said sucking. Literally.
Yeah, how many middle fingers did they write into that contract? They're like,
A lot.
Right. And then here's the angle that no one's really looking at is there's no competition for NFL. There's no competition for NBA.
Right.
I don't see how the UFC doesn't see this as we're going to push people to, like I say, Bellator. Viacom's got a shitload of money. And if they can get some of these people to jump ship, Bellator will overtake UFC.
That's what's going to happen. there's already being a change
yeah.
in Bellator right now.
But Bellator tends to get a lot of the leftovers. If they force guys like Donald Cerrone out, who is still very active,
This
and
is what I see happening.
yeah, then you're going to start seeing more ratings for Bellator. You're going to have people like Michael McDonald going over there.
Past
or
the
whatever.
freak show fights, they're going to get a lot more.
Right.
ratings.
Yeah, they're going
Right.
to. Yeah, exactly. It's going to become a more
Because
legitimate.
they've already outdone them in free show ratings, right?
Yep. Oh yeah, for sure. Anytime they put on one of these big shows,
Yeah.
these tent that they call the big tent shows, they end up doing more ratings than anybody else.
So me as a business person, I'm like, hey, we're helping the competition. You're pissing off the people, because really Viacom's like, go ahead,
Keep doing
violate that contract, let them have that money. We'll not only make up the money that you're going to lose from leaving that contract,
Help you with the legal fees.
but we'll help you with the legal fees.
Yeah. And not only, I don't know if you have this on here, but not only are the fighters getting it from the UFC on, I should say the fighters are getting it from the UFC and Reebok, but now the fans are getting it from UFC and Reebok, where a shitload of people got hit with the DCMA this week. They basically shut down the Reddit subforum on MMA, and they're going all over the internet, and they're pulling. They got a guy's Facebook shut down for fan-made videos that he was making himself, making promos for fights and stuff like that. Shut down his Facebook, shut down his YouTube, shut down our MMA. Not shut down, but basically shut it down. And they're going after anybody who uploads UFC content, even if it's fan content created to help hype the sport.
That's funny you say that, because I had a bunch of fans earlier this week tell us that our YouTube was shut down for a little while. I wonder if it was being
Probably.
I wonder if it's being audited, and then I couldn't get into it, and then it was back up.
So you couldn't get into it. Then
Dana White realizes they are not the Apple of fucking MMA fighting, right?
The guy who, one of the big guys on our MMA that makes a lot of the fan promos and stuff like that, he's the one who put this out for everybody to be aware of. He went after Dana White on Twitter, and Dana White didn't even know what was going on. So somebody in legal decided to start doing this, and it's alienating the fans. The Reebok deal is alienating the
Dana
fighters.
White usually loves the fan created stuff for the most part. He's retweeted them before. He's said, this was a great promo. He's done stuff like that.
It's free
before.
promotion
He's linked
for
it
the
up.
sport.
I actually think he's
as long as people are not releasing full fight footage, you're not seeing an entire fight. For the most part, the cut up stuff he's fine with. Now, when there was remember Look Out a Whale, he used to do some of the best ones on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Hands down the best ones. He was putting up almost whole fights, but he'd edit them to make them like a video game or what. He didn't want that to happen. The little clips and the little stuff, he seems fine with. I've seen him multiple times.
His clip of the day sometimes is fan made stuff.
Yeah.
They're even going after posters and
Everything.
GIFs and stuff like that. If it's fan made and it uses UFC product anywhere
Images,
in it, it's getting shut down. And it's pissing off the fans, just like the Reebok deal's pissing off the fighters. The UFC's got to right the ship somehow.
You think they would learn from other companies that have done this? You gain absolutely nothing from doing it, because Nintendo kind of did the same thing to
For a little
game
while,
fans, and then all it did was a major backlash on them. So it doesn't make any sense.
So the whole community is saying that. So it's time to figure something out. Kick Reebok out and let the fan stuff continue. People will be happier.
Things that make you go,
Mirko CroCop retired after his fight with who did he? Right before his fight, actually, before his fight with Anthony Hamilton back in November, because he admitted to using just a little bit of HGH for a neck injury. He was suspended.
he's old. You got to give him a break.
And
man.
so then he decided to retire. Come to find out, he passed his PED test. He's
See?
still suspended.
See?
Stick to the script, CroCop.
Yeah, I know you did it. Just admit it. Nope. I know you
Because
did
he
it.
admitted
Just
it,
admit it. Nope.
They are still going to have him suspended because he was actively using a prohibited substance during the time of his test, admitted to using it, attempted using it, and had possession of, which are all violations of the anti-doping policy.
Like
Yeah,
Shaggy
all you
said,
gotta
it wasn't
do is
me.
Say you did. That's the whole thing.
That's
all
it.
you got to do is say you did, and they don't have to test or anything.
Shaggy and Chris Rock
By
had it right,
saying
man.
Verbally.
Oh, really?
All you got to do is say
Oh, yeah, totally.
Because I get a lot of guys, because I do them testing, right? You know, they'll say, hey, I got to ask you a question. What's that? I was just smoking a lot. What? That's it.
That's it. You're done.
That's it.
It's the same thing with cheating on your girl.
I can't do anything about it. And God forbid I violate anything and not tell
Tell somebody. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't be like, it was just the tip.
There's just a
It was
tip.
just the tip.
I pulled out. I pulled out.
Yeah, or you can't tell her. You can't. If you tell her that you did it, you're in trouble. If you tell her you were thinking about it, you're in trouble. So just shut up until you get caught.
I didn't swallow.
Who are you cheating with?
Sorry, I lost my
Vanderlei Silva has issued a public apology today on his Facebook page, retracting his statements about fixed fights to the UFC.
Oh, really?
Subsequently, he has finally been released by the UFC.
Wow.
He said, in July of last year, I was wrong, I apologize. I have posted numerous comments on Facebook and Twitter, which included repeated claims that the UFC fixed fights, and I could prove it. I hereby retract any statements as entirely... I failed to understand the term fight fixing, where it specifically refers to illegal action on practice and dishonesty determining the outcome of contest before it occurs. I understand the UFC's reputation could be harmed if my fans and others actually believe the UFC engaged in fight fixing. I have no evidence to support such a claim. I apologize for any misunderstanding my comments may have caused. Vanderlei Silva, he has also now been released
You know what's
from his
hilarious is-
contract. It is a mutual release, and the settlement is confidential.
He can't even spell my. Who wrote that? He never wrote that.
No, he didn't write that for sure. He got
His
handed
PR
it.
company.
You're
Yeah.
you're going to sign this, and then
Exactly.
you're going to tweet this.
Yeah.
But you're going to be living in a shack again
Yeah.
in South
Yeah,
America.
and we're going to let you go.
You see this guy? This is your publicist.
Yeah.
This is who talks for you from now on.
Yeah. You know what happened? He lost that video to that crazy dude. Yeah. With the Ronda Rousey. Right? Yeah. That was his video right there,
be
man.
it.
Maybe he's the crazy guy. Recently, Floyd Mayweather came out and said that he believes racism still exists in combat sports. Points to Conor McGregor and says that's as an example how media treats the UFC champion versus how they treat him and the way he acts.
This was crazy because first there was a fake statement.
There was a
made.
fake statement
Yeah.
made by a fake Conor McGregor on Facebook. However, I believe the real Conor McGregor one here is actually a little more brutal,
It really,
and I really
is.
like it. He says
The fake statement was just, I don't know, some
it's kind of
troll.
trolling statement.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Conor McGregor says, Rolling Stone, thank you for putting me up as your top 25 sex symbols in 2015. My mother will be delighted and proud. ESPN, Fox, BT Sports, MMA Fighting, Yahoo, MMA Junkie, Sherdog, thank you for all awarding me Fighter of the Year. I appreciate all the hardworking media and love their commitment to the sport. Fighters Only MMA Awards, thank you for the nominations. For Fighter of the Year, KO of the Year, and International Fighter of the Year. I will be there to collect all my awards. Floyd Mayweather, don't ever bring race into my success again. I'm an Irishman. My people have been oppressed for our entire existence. Still very much are. I understand the feeling of prejudice is a feeling that is deep in my blood. In my family's long history of warfare, there's been a time where just having the name McGregor was punishable by death. Do not ever put me in a bracket like this again. If you want to organize a fight, no problem. I will give you a fair 80-20 purse split in my favor, as seen as your last fight bombed in every area of revenue. 27 years of age, I now hold the key to this game. The game answers to me now.
Pretty strong statement, man. Pretty strong statement.
Until he loses.
Until he loses. I hate Irishmen too, though. So I told you.
Ride the wave. Ride the
Really,
wave.
Don't come in until it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Ride the wave.
BJ Penn recently came out, said he was been training for a fight, wrote this big thing, Nick and called out Nick Litz. Nick Litz says, I don't even and have not worked with Dolce for quite some time, so fighting with me will have nothing to do with Dolce. For the record, fuck you, BJ. You talk too much. You use to be about your actions. Now you're like a spoiled little rich kid you are. All you do is talk. I'll glad you fight any time, so you get your mom and daddy to paint you some planes. Fly Hawaii out to Vegas. Give a little baby Penn what he wants and come out of retirement. This time I'll make sure I retire you properly. Bring back Penn. Penn came back and said, this is a formal challenge to Nick Lentz to meet me in the Octagon March 5th in Las Vegas. Nick, you wrote a silly poem about me, making fun of me, said all this stuff about me and my parents. You've been making the Bring BJ Penn hashtag. I ask you today to back up everything you said. Like, talk, walk, the walk. Uncle BJ is mad already. Then he came and posted a picture of himself, BJ Penn, with Jackson. Yeah, Jackson. Going over to Greg Jackson's camp there in Albuquerque. He said he's training, he's ready. He hashtagged it, We Come In UFC and Dana White. Nick Lentz penned this great response to the whole thing, saying that, I received your poorly worded, utterly predictable message in spite of its clumsy structure, awful spelling, incorrect usage, and general air of arrogance, entitled stupidity. I'm considering your request. There are some conditions. I am never competing at 145, neither should you. I came to this conclusion after doing some research and deciding that it was not right for my long-term health as well as my short-term performance. If you fight at 145, it won't be long before you're eating banana mush in a nut house. I am accountable to my family and my future with them because you're an impulsive tyrant surrounded by yes men. You have no ability to make rational, intelligent decisions. I'm making this one for you. If we fight, it will be at 155. I'm not fighting in March. Neither are you. You may imagine you are, and the imbeciles around that you surround yourself with may nod in agreement like trained dogs that they are, but you're not fighting in March. You've lied to your fans, and you lied to them and let them down over and over. Nobody is clamoring to put BJ Penn Excuse Factory back in business. Were we to fight in March, I would whoop your ass. It'd only give you and your lackeys the BJ didn't have enough time bullshit excuse. Additionally, if we do fight, it'll be on my timetable, not yours. You are retired. You have no schedule. I am an active fighter on the roster with a schedule and training platform, not to be beholden to your desires, grudges, or need for narcissistic supply. You still owe Mike Dolce $22,000. Knowing him, he is too gracious and dignified man to revisit the traitorous backstabbing skullduggery you engaged in with him for the third time. Frankie Edgar kicked your ass. I, however, don't have the luxury of grace and dignity in the best left out exchange that includes you. You will donate the $22,000 to the Hawaiian Dog Foundation, a no-kill, all-volunteer rescue organization working hard to rescue and rehabilitate tugs in Hawaii in Mike Dolce's name. Given these conditions some thought, they are non-negotiable. These are the rules that you will abide by, or you can go whistle. I have a contract and plenty of guys to fight. As a narcissist, you have nothing but an image. And you need attention. You have all the money you could ever spend. It just doesn't satisfy you. I have what you need. I'm in charge. You can do what narcissists usually do when confronted with higher power, slink away, or you can confront the needs, realize I can fulfill them, come to terms with me, looming over you, hold the whip hand. I hold the whip hand. I am already in charge, you poor deluded fool. I did more to motivate you with 2 poems than all your yes men did with titles and highlights could. Get as angry as you want. Go cry to your mommy. Go shit in your hat and bark at the moon. You want to fight? It's on my terms. Face it. You can go to Greg Jackson's. You can go to Jermaine Jackson's. You can listen to Mahila Jackson. You can resurrect Jackson fucking Pollock to paint you a better picture of yourself than the one we all see. But you're an unclaimed, busted down suitcase on a dusty shelf in an abandoned bus terminal. Accept my conditions or rot in obscurity.
Damn.
Nice.
Well done.
Your boss, Nick Lentz.
Your boss.
Wow.
Hired for the UFC debate team.
Wow.
Pretty well spoken.
He's
I
no
hope it
Dr.
happens.
Seuss.
I hope it's no
Well,
Dr.
put
Seuss.
together kind of interesting, no?
I do hope it happens.
Yeah?
I hope it. I'd
Yeah,
watch
that'll
it.
be an ego fight all the way, right?
Wow.
I'm always cool with BJ.
Everyone's always
Whether
cool
it's a
with
good
BJ.
BJ or a bad BJ, it's still good. And I think that if he's going to Greg Jackson's camp, then we got a good BJ
Well,
going.
yeah, because it's nice. Because when it's good, BJ, like you say, it's good. When it's bad, it's like,
It's still BJ.
Still BJ.
It's still BJ. Yeah, even when it's bad, it's still BJ. So I'm
So
cool
what
with
if
it.
his folks have all the money in Hawaii?
Moving on to the fight card that is happening this Sunday.
Sunday because of football, I'm assuming. Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
Why on Sunday? I don't get it.
Well, because it's in Boston and the Patriots play on Saturday.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
Okay.
You can't compete with that.
UFC Fight Night 81. Do we know if this is just Fight Pass? This on Fox?
No, this is on Fox.
Fox Sports 1?
Fox.
Big Fox?
FS1.
I don't know if it's on Fox or Fox Sports 1, actually.
FS1.
Is it FS?
Fox Sports
okay,
1.
Fox
There we
Sports
go.
1.
All
All
right.
right.
So you get all the information.
This
here.
is,
I should
but
come
this is
nowhere
a
else.
pretty awesome fight
Pretty
card.
decent fight card. You want to start there at the bottom?
For a freebie. Yeah. Francisimar Barroso up against Abdul Karim Edilov. And then Rob Font going up against Joey Gomez. Also Sean O'Connell and Yair Latifi. Charles Rosa going up against Jimmy Hedis. And Tim Boach.
Performing a murder against Ed
Herman.
Tito Didn't Pick Me Herman.
I thought this was on the prelim card. So I
This
won't
is
get to
on
see
Fight
one.
Pass. Tim
Bummer.
Boach is going to kill him. That's my prediction.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. You know, our favorite blue collar brawler going up against Ed
Yep.
Herman, and if you have Fight Pass, you'll be able to see that, or you'll probably see it in a GIF, or actually not because they keep getting taken down. So figure something out. Jumping onto the main card, there you got Paul Fielder going up against Darian Cruikshank. What do you think about this one?
That's a tough fight. I think I'll take Felder with the decision. I like Cruikshank, though.
I like Cruikshank.
It's good possible.
I'm gonna take
Throw
Cruikshank.
I'll
I'm
take
going
it,
Cruikshank.
Does it seriously say to be determined right now?
Yeah, what the hell
What just
happened there? We have a
This
to be determined fight with Maximo Blanco.
I saw the opponent
So
earlier today.
Dennis Bermudez was supposed to face Maximo Blanco at this event. However, on December 5th, Bermudez pulled out due to staph infection on his shin. So this hasn't been updated since December 5th.
I have it. Hold on a
You
second.
gotta have somebody.
I got it.
I'm picking Maximo Blanco
I'm taking Blanco no matter what.
over TBD. TBD doesn't have a chance in this fight.
That's that guy fight before.
He's now fighting. Where'd it go? I just had it.
No.
Luke Sanders. 10-0.
Luke Sanders. 10-0 Luke Sanders. Oh, well, this could be a great debut for Luke
Still
Sanders.
taking Blanco.
I'm gonna take the Jedi. I'm going with Luke.
Going with Luke. 10-0 debut, short notice. This is one of those things where it's like, did Maximo Blanco have enough time to set
Out
his
of
tape?
nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can go with Luke.
Smart.
Luke.
Smart move. Smart move.
All right.
Marbek Tarusmov going up against Chris Wade. Got a dog in this fight?
Wade.
Wade
Going
it
Wade.
is. Big Ben Saunders going up against Patrick Cote. Interesting fight here. 'Cause
Saunders.
We're not in Canada.
It's Saunders because we're not in
Saunders,
Not in
yeah.
Canada.
Yeah.
And as we jump onto your main card here, we have Francisco Trinaldo going up against Ross
I
Pearson.
like Ross Pearson.
Pearson.
I'd like to take Pearson in this. The only
Pearson.
thing is
I'll
the
take
thing
Pearson.
that bothers me about Pearson is that he usually loses the high volume kickboxing strikers and Brazilians, which Trinaldo is. That's the only reason I think he may lose this fight to a decision.
He's busting the curse this time.
To the decision. That's it. Otherwise, I'm taking Pearson all the way.
Pearson.
I'm going Trinaldo.
Yeah.
Trinaldo for me.
All right.
And then a couple of meatheads going at it. Travis Brown up against Matt Mitrione.
I like Hoppa. I just don't think he's got it against
No.
Meathead.
No.
I got to take Mitrione in this fight. And I'm not a big Mitrione fan. You know that.
No.
I'm a bigger Travis Brown fan.
Yeah.
I don't think the move to the Glendale fighting club down there for Travis was the best idea. He doesn't seem to be throwing the kicks anymore. It's all about his boxing.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to have that same move. I mean, he's a big guy to begin with anyway.
Stick with what's working.
I'm going to go with Meathead on this, Matt Mitrione.
I think this is going to be a slugfest for as long as it lasts, and then Travis Brown's going to drop.
Yeah, Travis has been spending too much time in the muffler. I'm going Mitrione.
This is a good point. He's had a lot to deal with over the last couple months.
He's been. I would be in that muffler too, but I'm just saying.
Anthony Pettis against Eddie Alvarez.
Great technical fight going to happen here. This is, I don't want to say don't blink, meaning this could end in a flash, but don't blink because you're going to see a lot of really cool shit happening in this fight.
If it does go all the rounds,
Pettis.
this could be. Well, this just could be another record-breaking exchange of strikes.
Yeah, I'm going Pettis.
Yeah.
I'll go with Pettis on this one too. I just think that you're going to see a lot of really cool combinations, a lot of really cool technical fighting here, and a lot of flashy shit.
And Eddie's got a lot to prove, so I mean, I'm going to go Alvarez.
Eddie Alvarez.
I'm going to take Alvarez.
All right.
And then for the title, TJ Dillashaw against Dominic Cruz, former title holder.
So we got Dominic Cruz is an interesting conundrum here because the guy's 20-1. He hasn't lost since he lost to Uriah Faber back in 2000, like
11.
was it 2011, and then he was laid off for 3 years when Ronda Rousey beat him up, and he came back and got one fight in, got a quick KO, which isn't something that we typically saw Dominic Cruz anyway.
But
Yeah, he knocked out Mizugaki, right?
Yeah.
I'm taking TJ Dillashaw for a couple of reasons. One, Dominic Cruz's last big fight that he defended his title when he fought against Mighty Mouse. That's the only guy. Neither of these guys have fought anybody that's like each other. Right. The closest anybody's gotten was when Dominic Cruz fought Mighty Mouse. Now, he was able to push him around because Mighty Mouse is definitely a smaller guy. And it went to decision. But Mighty Mouse still had him on the feet, in my opinion. He definitely outstruck him. He just was able to push him around a little bit more because he's a bigger guy. He's not going to be able to push TJ Dillashaw around.
Not at all.
And the difference between the neo footwork that Dominic Cruz has and the neo footwork that TJ Dillashaw has is TJ Dillashaw is constantly moving forward. He is constantly he's offensive. Whereas Cruz is all about the I'm going to get in, get the one, and get out. And make you miss. Get the one, get the one, get out. Whereas TJ is going to constantly be going to get in, use the footwork to set up the next shot, to set up the following shot. Yeah.
You'll switch up a lot.
You know,
and Cruz will stay in that boxing stance.
Dominic Cruz is in and out, uses all this, and a lot of the times he uses it for his wrestling too. And I think Dillashaw is going to end up keeping his belt. In
The
this
big
one.
problem
I think
here.
Dillashaw better on that ground must be, but I think Cruz, if he's been working on his boxing, which he's had plenty of time to train on, that's the only thing that might save it.
This is a question since you're here. How is it that TJ comes from Angels camp, but like we didn't hear about him until he really came on the scene?
So he signed up with Alpha Male.
Yeah.
Because they want it's the way they do things.
I mean, did you see him much like at Chicken Ranch or down in Lemoore?
Well,
Or Gladiator Challenge.
No. So I mean, where he just kind of came out of nowhere.
Did he fight a Gladiator Challenge? Up in the Sacramento one, or the one above Sacramento? No.
So he was down in Southern California then.
CFC, Rebel Fighter, Fight for Wrestling, King of the Cage Legacy. Interesting.
That's it.
Yeah, I think the problem here for Cruz is when it comes to the punching, when it comes to the wrestling, Dillashaw has him outgunned on both those. I think that Cruz has a chance to keep his distance and land some strikes with some kicks.
That who's been busy or who's ready.
I got to take TJ in this fight. I think
I'm taking TJ in this fight too.
yeah.
he sets up the combos better.
Cardio, speed. Yeah.
He sets up everything for another strike, whereas Cruz sets everything up defensively to get in and out and confuse guys.
And I think if he goes to the ground too, it's going to be very different. Cruz
Is Angels Camp 209? I think it is still 209. He's 209.
He's 209. We got to take 209. Dominic Cruz's only shot here is to keep the distance with his kicks. TJ, of course, has got to move forward, which he's going to do to win this fight.
Bang's calling for second round knockout.
Yeah, it's possible.
Second round?
Second round knockout.
Well, you got a guy who's never been knocked out.
Dominic
before,
Cruz is definitely a better speaker. We saw that on multiple YouTube clips recently.
This is true. So second
It's
round
just
knockout.
because TJ gets on the defensive, and then he's like, "No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I know you are, but what am I?"
TJ's kind of a little kid.
Yeah.
I don't think he can knock him out. No, Dominic Cruz has never been knocked out. He's not going to get knocked out by TJ Dillashaw.
There's a first time for everything.
Yep. We saw that happen with Mr. Benson Henderson.
Well, of course, there's a first time for everything, but he's not getting knocked out. He's not getting knocked out.
Because that's what I like about Lawler is when people tell me nobody will ever knock
What
out
was that loss?
Lawler,
Was it
and I'm
Silva,
like,
right?
Nick already knocked him out.
What, Lawler?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes
now
you
he's-
get lucky.
I don't know. Maybe he worked the neck muscles more.
Fox Sports 1.
Fox Sports 1, Sunday night. Make sure you tune in and check it out. It's free.
Yeah, watch it.
I'm assuming it's going to start around 3 o'clock or something, so enjoy. Is this going on this weekend, Invicta?
This is also going down this weekend.
Tomorrow.
Pick out a couple fights there.
Sorry, boy.
Obviously, you got Angela Hill.
So this is an Invicta 15, Cyborg versus
Yeah. Defending her belt.
Ibrahimova.
Still at featherweight.
Ibrahimova, yeah.
Like I said, Angela Hill making her debut.
I brag, I mova.
Amanda Bell.
Oh, our girl Kelly, she's going to be on an Invicta here pretty soon, right?
She's trying. She said that she's trying for the March card, but she hasn't heard nothing from Knapp or Kedzie. So get on that.
So if you get a chance to
Knapp
watch
and
Invicta,
Kedzie.
is that? I'm assuming that's on Fight Pass.
Fight Pass, yeah.
So definitely worth checking out. Cyborg's fighting. So that's it. That wraps it up. Big thanks for listening, of course. Thanks to Gene for being here. We
Thank
appreciate
you
it.
for having me. Love you guys.
I sure hope we recorded it all.
Yeah, it's
Really?
doing something right
We're
now.
supposed to be recording this?
Hired help.
No, this is just for
a lot
fun,
to be
man.
desired around
I
here.
thought this was rehearsal.
Dress rehearsal. All right, now go. Hit record.
Okay.
Thanks for listening, of course, to Split Decision. You can find us on Spreaker, Stitcher, SoundCloud, iTunes. What is it? MMA Podcast?
MMApodcast.com.
Tell your friends to get us there. You know, if you're listening, you know where to find us, but your friends don't, so tell them where to find us. iHeartRadio as well, Split Decision, MMA.com. Thanks to StrongBoardBalance.com and MyMMANews.com. Find us on Facebook at Split Decision MMA Podcast, on Twitter and Instagram at SD_MMA. And from the Roulette Family Inc. Studios, it's Bueller and Dodge saying have a good night, and we'll see you at the fights.
Style.